So whilst this session might predominantly have a primary age focus, you'll see how this activity can be developed for the different key stages, from foundation phase in primary school all the way through to key stage 4 in secondary school. What I want to do is demonstrate how just one simple app can be used to show big improvements and raise standards, particularly within pupils' oracy and, more importantly, or more in particular, their writing skills. So for this, I'm going to use a free app called Shadow Puppet, or Puppet Edu. I used to love using this for particularly my lower ability children when I was teaching in year 5, 6. Okay. And it's more suitable for children in lower year groups, for higher ability pupils, or for moving up into the different key stages. You might like to use the app Apple Clips, where there's some slight differences and some extra features available to you. So I'm going to go ahead and open the Shadow Puppet app. So Shadow Puppet is really kind of a utility app which will allow your students and you as teachers to make engaging presentations and slideshows using photos, videos. You can use sound clips and record your voiceovers, mainly using pictures from within your camera roll. There are other functions which I'll show you, which can be quite useful. But it's really a way of just producing that multimedia video for you to be able to use as a scaffolding, really, to help aid the writing process. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new Shadow Puppet, and I'm going to create a video to help me with my instructional writing. So in this particular activity, I've previously made a chicken salad sandwich. Now the power of this activity is that all the images I'm going to use are actually mine. So I've made this sandwich while my colleague took photos of the process. Okay, I found this really, really powerful in class, in school. So my students, my pupils have taken part in the activity. Okay, they're going to be talking in the first instance and then writing about something they've actually done and had the opportunity to do, rather than just doing a sequencing activity. But they haven't had any real first-hand experience of doing the actual thing which they're trying to write an instructional text about. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create New. When I do that, my camera roll then appears in front of me. So this will allow me to choose the appropriate images for this piece of work that I'm going to create. To do that, I can simply scroll through my camera roll, tapping on the images that I would like to use. And as you can see, as I do that, it throws them down into the bottom left-hand corner where you can see it's got 2 images are there. As I scroll further through and add a couple more, there's my 3rd, 4th, etc., and so on. So all I'm really doing is building up the bank of images that I know that I would like to use. Okay, so if I now kind of put my last one in and then tap in the bottom left-hand corner, it will show me the images that I've selected to use. There we are. So they're the images I've selected that I'm going to use. If I go back, there's a really nice tool in here called the map search tool. So there's a search bar at the top. So I'm going to type in our offices, J Shed Swansea, and tap go. This is a standard view map. Wherever if I click satellite, you get the satellite view. Use your 2 fingers to pinch, and then once you've got an appropriate image, just press a little camera icon and it will take a photo and throw it down the bottom left. As you can see down the left hand side, there's lots of different tools there. Some are very Americanized. However, there are some good tools that I take a good look at. So by tapping again down the bottom left, reorder. Now I can start to reorder my images in the way in which I'd like them to flow. So here I'll have me first, I'll introduce myself. Then I'm going to put my map image before I start to order the images that I've already taken and brought into this area. Now, this is a really great opportunity to discuss with your students the ordering process. There can be lots of discussion around this. Oh, do you remember the time when you did this? And what did you do after that? And so on. So you can really encourage that, the Oracy-based skills there, discussing and really try to get the vocabulary out of your students. So it's really important to note at this stage, when you progress, you can't change the order of the images. So you need to get it right here. Make sure the students are comfortable with the order they've got before you progress and start to record your audio. Should you find you come across an image in the wrong order, unfortunately, you're going to have to restart. But that's fine. It just encourages the pupil to think more so about the planning stage before they go ahead and rush into recording the audio. When you're happy, you can just go ahead and press the green next button on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. So the first thing to say when you're in here, you can move that image in the center of the screen just by using your finger and dragging and moving around. No problem whatsoever. So you can put that in the perfect position. You can also use the 2-finger pinch to zoom in and zoom out and place it perfectly. Once you're happy, just before you press recording, we can use the text feature at the top of the screen. So this is important. This is more of a title more than the text, because this is obviously an Oracy-based activity. So in here, I'm going to write chicken salad sandwich. You can see as I start to add that, it previews for you. You can also choose then how you would like that to appear on your screen. And then you can also choose your font. What's particularly good about this is there's a limited variety. So rather than students spending time worrying about aesthetics, you can kind of get in, get it done, and move on to help to the writing element. You can choose the location of where you'd like the text appearing on the screen, the color of the font, and then finally you can choose the size of the font. Once you've done that, you're happy, you can click the tick. One final thing, you can begin to add some music. To do that, we're just going to click the music note underneath. Now, iPads are designed for personal use, so you won't have access to your iTunes library unless you're on a personal iPad or unless your school has access to it. However, you can choose some background music. Now, there are only 8 to choose from. Some might be quite cheesy. However, they are there and they're fantastic to use. So choose the one you want and select use. When you do that, this will appear, so just music or music and voice. Well, obviously this is an Oracy-based activity, so we're going to want to select music and voice. Just a bit of troubleshooting really. Some questions we always get asked: can you change the volume of the music? And a simple answer to that is no. However, I see this as a great opportunity to encourage your students, particularly those who are quite shy, quite softly spoken, to begin to project their voice, as well as using some other quick tips. So, for example, holding the iPad closer to your face and to your mouth, so your voice doesn't get lost in the empty classroom space. Okay, but it really is a great tool to help project that voice into the iPad. Now you've done all that, we're ready to start recording. So to do that, we can just press start in the bottom of the screen. And when I click it, it'll begin to count me in. So I'll just press start. 3, 2, 1. And now I'm live. You can hear the music's on. So I'm going to have to speak that a little bit more clearly. So here it goes. Hi, I'm Nick and I work for Aspire to Be. Aspire to Be are based in Swansea in the J-Shed units. So as you can see there, I started my recording and I actually moved on to the second slide. I've now pressed pause. I can unpause that and continue recording as I wish. Now it won't count me in again as this is already live recording, so it started. Okay, so when I press unpause, I'll just continue moving through the slides. Welcome to my video, my instructional video of how to create a chicken salad sandwich. First, you need to gather all of your ingredients to be able to make your sandwich. Next, you're going to need to cut your lettuce, your tomato, and your red onion. After that, ensuring you have a clean knife and a clean chopping board, you need to cut your chicken breast. Before using your bread, gently spread some butter across 2 slices. Now we're ready to begin to construct the sandwich. Place a slice of bread on a plate and gently layer lettuce and tomato on top. Continue by adding red onion and your chicken breast to your sandwich. Sandwich this with your second layer of bread. Carefully use a bread knife to cut your sandwich in half. Remember to keep your fingers and thumbs out of the way of the knife. And there you have it, your very own chicken salad sandwich. Enjoy. So as you can see, I very quickly recorded my video. When I'm happy, I can just go ahead and press save in the bottom right. So I will just take a little bit of time to kind of render, and I press save, and we'll pop up a preview and share option. Now for those of you using Seesaw or planning on using Seesaw after watching the last live webinar we've just done, you can save directly into Seesaw. So I'm going to tap that and tap and hold the green tick until it takes me into Seesaw. So here I can choose what student I am, so Nick Evans, and I can upload my video. Just refresh the page. So here you will notice there are no folders tagged within this, so I can click the add folder button, and this is literally across the curriculum. You also might like to choose the science and technology, and you also might like to use the A to B conference tag. And there we have it. It's uploaded into my Seesaw digital portfolio under my pupil name. So that's how I'd get my pupils then to create their multimedia instructional video. But although the video is complete, the work's not done there. So the real benefit of saving this into Seesaw means that it's easily accessible on any device, which means it's perfect for classes that are on shared devices, or for those schools or teachers who prefer to have work evidence and stuck in books rather than just on the online digital portfolio. So a QR code can be easily made directly within Seesaw. You can do that by just pressing the 3 dots to the bottom right of the entry, and then just click the QR code. Okay, so this video is now going to be used to help scaffold my pupils' writing. So using the video they've created, I'd now ask my pupils to write an instructional text asking them to recall their prior knowledge of the writing genre. So they've completed the activity practically. They took the photos, they've created an instructional video, and they'll now use that as a scaffold to help them do their first write. So that would be the kind of their first draft, or in some instances, some schools call it their cold write. Okay, and then once you've completed that, really, as the class teacher, I'd spend 2 to 3 weeks teaching the genre-specific skills. So in this case, we've got instructional text. So obviously I'll be focusing on kind of the sequencing of events, developing a range of vocabulary, including the different imperative verbs and adverbs, and a variety of technical vocabulary, which I might like my students to include within their writing. I think I mentioned earlier, magpieing. So looking at other texts and taking vocabulary, good vocabulary out of there to help use in their writing. Okay, so after I was really confident that I've taught the relevant text type skills, I then allow my pupils to listen back to the original Shadow Puppet video, or the multimedia video, whichever app we decide to use, that they created, and self-assess themselves. So hopefully after going through that process, they would understood where they can make the improvements. And with the newfound vocabulary and writing skills, so obviously we've done the teaching for the last 2 to 3 weeks, I'd ask my pupils to recreate the instructional video that they create in the first place. So I'd ask them to recreate the Shadow Puppet. And again, I'd get them to save this and make it readily available, hopefully within Seesaw or in another cloud-based area where you decide to use as a school. Okay, and then this final video will again help aid the writing process, or the final write. And then upon completing that write, you should be able to not only share an improvement in the second instructional video, but you should also see, or hopefully see, a dramatic improvement in the pupil's written work as well. So give it a try, give it a go. Use whichever app you see fit. I particularly like this, as I explained earlier, for particularly my lower ability children, to help structure it for them. But give it a try, see how you get on, and then let's see if you can help improve your students' writing. So that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching. Should you have any questions, please feel free to get in contact with myself or any of the team at Aspire to Be. I'll keep an eye out for a literacy-based course coming out soon on our Aspire Ed learning platform.